Hey, thanks for joining our training today. We're going to be talking about Google Ads, and I want to make it simple for you. There may be some who are considering Google Ads or have used Google Ads and it hasn't worked out. And perhaps there's others of you that are using Google Ads. You may spend a lot of money, not sure if it works. You spend a lot of money, you're not sure if the right patients are coming in. So I want to really give you some great insight. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm really going to try to not, be too techy and nerdy. So quick background about who I am. I own this company, Digital Marketing Oral Surgeon Marketing Pros, and I wrote this book on digital marketing for oral surgeons. I gave many copies out at the Dental Implant Conference in Chicago in December. Our agency has won several awards from Google. I coach, I think, 28 to 30 digital marketing agencies right now. We do have a podcast called Drill Down. So we specialize with helping oral surgeons. Now, what we'll learn today, I want to give you a clear path on how to get more high-value patients. I'm going to cover the key reason why Google ad accounts fail, and maybe you've experienced this yourself, and I'm going to provide practical tweaks to get improvement. And lastly, bonus, because you're here joining us, I'm going to give you a giveaway. It's a cheat sheet on questions to ask your agency so that you know you're maximizing your return on investment. All right, because the content is so helpful and important and it could really grow your practice. I know we all like to multitask. If you can just tone down those interruptions, if I get your attention, I'm going to be respectful of your time and really try to provide high quality content for you. So big question is, should Google Ads be part of your overall internet marketing strategy? Should you be using Google Ads? I'm going to say absolutely yes. You want to be found. When you're offering these services and you can't be found in today's world on the internet, you're going to be invisible. Now, the only exception that I would say is if you have a big backlog of patients and you have dental referrals coming out of your ears and you're really happy with the way you're set up. And if you're happy with the way you're set up, you're probably not watching this training, but having spoken with many oral surgeons from throughout the country, I know many of you are wanting to build your practices, grow your patient backlog, and I'm going to show you how to do that through Google Ads today. So some nice, great things about Google Ads that are different than, say, local search engine optimization or search engine optimization or even Facebook ads. Google Ads, you could show up quickly and you could show up exactly for the services that you want, and you could show up where you want your ads to show, meaning there might be certain cities that you want to show your ads in, and there might be certain places that you don't want to show your ads in. And with that, as you measure what you're spending and versus what patients are coming in, you have unlimited scalability. You could really dominate your market through Google Ads. Word of caution about Google Ads. You may know these things. It's very competitive. Google's great at sucking money off your credit card, right? And you do need a well-managed campaign, and you need to answer the phone and have great follow-up. So if you have those two components, a well-managed campaign, and you can answer the phone well, and book patients in, you're going to do very well. I want to share a quick story. About a decade ago, a dental office contacted me and they were interested in our marketing services. And I was the fifth agency that they interviewed. It was an hour-long interview. There was a few of them, and the one thing that they were very upfront about, they said, we're not doing Google Ads. We're against Google Ads. We hear it's a big ripoff. It's a waste of money. Even back then I disagreed, but I listened. I asked why and so on. And I was very confident that I could get them a great result despite not using Google Ads, because there's a lot of different ways to get patients. And, they chose us out of the 5 agencies. We onboarded them. We got them going right away. There was 2 owners and a couple other people involved in the account. They were very, very involved, and they were very happy with what we did. In fact, they turned out to be about like an 8-year client, maybe 7-year client. But what happened is that about a month in, I asked them, they were local, and I asked them if they provide oral surgery services. And the 2 owners lit up and they said, yeah, absolutely. Of course we do. In fact, just yesterday, we finished out a case and it was a $40,000 case when all is said and done. And I said, okay, well, you can't be found for the search oral surgeon. Never mind the many other important keywords like dental implant or all on 4. And, immediately they said, well, how do we fix that? And I said, Google Ads. And so there was some pause and tension. And I explained the limitations of local SEO, that it doesn't give you the exact freedom to have your ads show up for specifically what you're wanting to show up for. So I recommend it that they start with $1,000 budget. We try it, we see how it goes, and sure enough, we got them many patients, and they kept that campaign that we created for oral surgeons for a very long time. It wasn't and for like a couple of years in where they bought this big building and they hired a bunch of other dentists and oral surgeons and really blew up their business. So that was kind of that's the power behind Google Ads. You could really zero in on what you want to advertise for. So why most pay-per-click or PPC, internal language for Google Ads, why these campaigns fail? Here's what we've seen. We've taken over many Google Ad accounts, oftentimes from bigger agencies. These bigger agencies they usually have a pretty powerful sales deck and a sales presentation that seems very convincing. And it's often these large agencies that when they set up Google Ads, they're so complicated that it makes them very difficult to manage. So when it's too complicated, the manager doesn't always know what to do, because if you touch this thing over here, you don't know how that's going to affect that. And there's a certain way to set up a campaign so that makes it easier to manage and it provides great results. The other thing we've seen is an overly simplified account. And these, in my opinion, I feel like doctors and business owners get taken advantage of because they don't understand Google Ads. And you can take shortcuts and you can set up an account and make it simple, and you've successfully set it up, but it's not going to perform well because you haven't taken the extra steps to make it really work. So there's a balance between like too complicated and like overly simple. A really common one is they don't use landing pages. They'll send Google traffic to a home page, and that will not convert as well. And that will also not, I'll explain it, but it won't provide a high quality score. And that's how you bid high. That's how you rank higher with less money, with the quality score. And I'm going to simplify it and tell you how that works. Or they're poorly designed landing pages. Yes, it's a landing page, for example, dental implants. It talks about dental implants, but it might be missing components like customer testimonials or credentials or calls to action or items that make a landing page convertible. We're trying to convert searchers into patients. So there's a path to that. Or too small of a budget. If a client ever says to us like, oh, I'll try this and I have $400 a month, what can I do for that? If you only want to advertise for one keyword, no, that could work. But generally speaking, that's going to be too small of a budget. So smart ad setup for better return on investment and lower lead costs. I'm going to explain how this works. Where you'd want to start is in any oral surgeon practice, there's many services that are being offered. And again, having spoken to many oral surgeons, there's a pretty big variety of which services that some oral surgeons like to offer versus others. And that's great, but you have to decide for you. And let's say there's 8 different services that you offer that are common to oral surgeons. My recommendation is to pick the more profitable services that are going to make you money and that's going to support paying for a Google Ads campaign. So let's just say you started with 2 of them, and let's say you pick dental implants and All-on-4. Could be some overlap, some similarities, but let's just go with that. Now, would you want to spend money and advertise for, let's say, wisdom teeth removal? You might look at what your average revenue is per patient when it's wisdom teeth removal versus, say, an All-on-4, and it's night and day. I mean, it's a big difference. So how much money do you want to spend a campaign for wisdom teeth removal? Will that campaign pay for itself if you can only bring in a few $100s for a tooth removal? So that's what you have to consider. So what my recommendation would be is to start with those high profitable, high revenue patients in those services that you offer. So now this is it's pretty simple, but this would be internal. This is how an account manager thinks when they're setting up your Google Ads account. There's the overall campaign that's going to be on the highest level. Your next level under that are different ad groups. Now, the common mistake is to make one ad group and put all your keywords into one ad group. You don't want to do that. So what you're going to want to have your account manager do, or if you're doing this internally, is you're going to want to have many different ad groups, and you want to make those ad groups according to the different phrases that are common. And I'll show you an example. In my example here that I've prepared, I'm just walking you through what a simple dental implant campaign and ad group could look like. Overall, it doesn't matter what we call it. It's just an internal name for the campaign. So we're calling that campaign oral surgery. Underneath, the next level, underneath is the ad group. We're going to call this ad group the dental implants ad group. And then the keywords underneath that, now we're at the third level, we're only going to put in keywords that relate to dental implant. So dental implant, dental implants, dental implant near me, dental implants cost, affordable dental implants. And there's a handful of other keywords that you could put in here that relate to dental implants. So that's how you want to group these keywords. And so you can imagine any oral surgeon practice has a variety of services. And in that Google Ads campaign, you're going to want to put these services together just like I have here. Find the commonality, the different phrases, and put them in bunches inside an ad group. So now we have our group of keywords that are very, very similar. Here's where I'm going. Keyword, ad, landing page. That's it. Keyword, ad, landing page. Keep that in mind. All right, here's the keywords. Now they're going to go to not a general oral surgeon ad that lists all your various services. They're only going to see an ad that talks about dental implants. And you may use the word dental or the phrase dental implants 2 or 3 times, right? So that ad is going to relate exactly to what they're looking for because they typed in dental implants something, and now up there's an ad. Dental implants might be cost, or dental implants affordability, or something with dental implants. It's near them. And then the last part is the landing page. And then they're going to land on a landing page. Is it going to be the home page? No, you don't want to send them to the home page. At this stage, certainly that landing page is all going to be about dental implants. All right. So now I'm staying on this dental implant topic here, right? And I'm just showing you a good example of a landing page that's all about dental implants. I went to New York City, I typed in dental implants, and I clicked on some ads. I want to point some things out. Notice, big call to action. Notice that featured hero image here, big smile with confidence. Notice there's room. It's some space here, but there's also, I mean, you could argue it's a little bit busy. Here's the credibility of New York City. Here's multiple ways to contact them. We have chat that can open up. You could book online. And again, here's the phone number. It's twice now. Free dental implant consultation. Pretty good. In fact, I think I could show you this. Here's the live version. So we have links all about dental implant. Now this likes this. I mentioned the phrase quality score. How do you get a good quality score? Keywords, ads, landing page, and they're all themed together. In this example, it's dental implant. What the heck is a quality score? Basically, the higher the quality score you have, the more return on investment that you get. Your ads can show higher, they could show more frequently with less money. Now watch this. Control F, dental implant. This one landing page has the phrase dental implant 95 times. Wow, like that's a lot. I mean, we can call that keyword stuffing if you want to, but this is a very, very thought out landing page. They're definitely playing the quality score game with Google here. So hats off to them. You know, downtown New York City, they're fighting for oral surgeon patients. This is game on. This is great. I'm going to show you one more landing page, and it's this one. Again, nice and clean, big image here, phone number, book an appointment online, credentials. Hey, we've been on Fox, CNN, CBS. Funny, they put the 2 opposing networks on the outside. Book now. So let me do this, Control F again. And 24 times they have the phrase dental implants. So what they're doing is they're aligning the keyword and the ad in the landing page. This is really well done. So nice job. Nice. All right, let's get back. So I showed you a couple really good landing pages. You know, here's the last one I'll show you just on the slide. It won't go live. Big phone number, book online. Notice that, like, ask yourself, can someone book online? In today's world of technology, it's very inexpensive to do. If your schedule is hooked up to a Gmail calendar, which is the most popular form, it's very to do. I could through it if you have questions about that. And this is another one, like everything in yellow, it says dental implants, and there's quite a few examples. of the phrase dental implant. So again, nice job. So gaming the Google Ads system with quality score, how does Google determine which ad gets shown first? How do you think Google figures out which ad should be first? Now, many people think, oh, it's just the people that throw a lot of money at it. It's the highest bidder. And it's really not. It's based on what I've been mentioning, yes, it's a bid, and yes, when you have money, it does matter. But actually, this is how Google became the dominant search engine in the world, and that is with quality score. And that what they're wanting to do is have highly relevant keywords and ads and landing pages so that the searcher gets exactly what they're wanting. And they'll give credit to those advertisers that provide their searchers exactly what they're looking for. So Google rewards ads that are more relevant. And if your ad is more relevant, it can rank higher, even if you're not the highest bidder. So a better quality score equals lower cost per click and more visibility. And this helps you get, in this case, more implant patients with less money. That's just how it works. So that, what I shared just there in the last few minutes, it's really the key in essence of well-managed Google Ads account. There's some other details I'd love for you to know, which I'm going to cover. So how do you set up a Google Ads account that's going to bring more patients in? Again, focus on high value services. You know what those are. You know what your average revenue is just based on your pricing, if nothing else. Group those together for relevance and then send clicks to specific ads to specific landing pages. And those landing pages need to be designed and built out in such a way that it matches the keywords in the ads and all those converting factors like calls to action and very attractive and book online and third-party credentials. Are other loan associations acknowledging you? Other testimonials? Better yet, are there testimonials with pictures? Better yet, do you have customer videos that people can play and listen to? Do you have pictures of your office? Those kind of things make a searcher on a landing page more convertible. And that's what you're wanting. And lastly, you need to track every call and every form that comes in because you got to figure out what's working. And I would say don't spend a dime unless you have tracking set up. I've seen companies even with call tracking set up and they're not exactly sure what's coming from where. In today's digital world, you should know how much money you're spending, what you're spending it on, and what's coming to the office. Now, here's one thing that I'm going to share with you that's really important. I speak from an advertising agency. When you're able to provide that feedback to us as to, but these potential patients came in, but these patients actually signed up with your services, and you're able to loop that information back to us. Does it take a little bit of work on your side? Yes, it does, but it's very, very valuable. If you're wanting to maximize your profitability and your return on investment, that feedback is really essential. I'll share a thing or two that we provide all of our clients so that they're able to track what's coming in and make decisions and so on. So, but make sure if you're Google Ads or if you have it, you absolutely need call tracking, but then further you need to figure out what you're spending on, which kind of patients and who's actually coming in. So track every call and contact form, mention that, which keywords actually turn into real patients, and then know your cost per lead for each service in real time, and then fix what's not working and double down on what is. So that's the key. So, big picture, what should you be measuring? Yes, you should know what you're spending per month. That's pretty easy. Our clients, they give us a budget. We discuss it with them, and you stick to it. Google set up in such a way that you get to a budget. That's not a big issue. Cost per lead. There's a difference between a cost per phone call and a cost per web form and a cost for like a real patient coming into your office. So with call tracking, you could actually play the calls and you could identify which ones actually schedule, and then you'd have to identify which ones actually came in, and then you could also from there figure out who actually ended up buying your services. So are you actually, is your advertising getting the right kind of patient? That old saying that says, hey, my marketing half's great. The only problem is I don't know which half that is. Like in today's world, that's not necessary. You could really dial in and dial down and figure out what's working, you look at what's not working and you fix it or eliminate it or get rid of it. If you want to get more of what's working, then you turn the volume on that one. So this is an example of a dashboard that we provide our clients. It does have call tracking. You could play your calls. It's available 24/7. You can actually mark something by the calls to indicate if that's a lead, if it's not a lead, and so on. You should know all of your sources, whether it's local SEO, whether it's direct, whether it's from Google Ads, whether it's from local service ads. All that should be available in a dashboard so that you can measure your return on investment. Your account manager should be reviewing this with you, if not once a month, more sometimes if it's helpful. And you've got to manage your money. And that's what your agency should be providing you. So I didn't want to give you too much. I didn't want to pull you into the weeds of Google Ads, which is easy to do. I want to stay at a high level. I gave you some really important concepts. Generally speaking, I recommend to not try to manage your own Google Ads account. Why? Because, gosh, Google's just a big company and they're tricky and it gets complicated. And I've seen too many business owners try to do it themselves and waste too much money. Here at Oral Search and Marketing Pros, we definitely make our Google Ads account management very affordable, and we do a great job. And it's well fit to work with a pro that can dial in on your Google Ads account and give you great service and a great return on your investment. Either way, we're happy to provide this cheat sheet for you, and these are questions you could ask to your agency, and it could give you a better understanding of how your account is set up and how to best maximize your return on investment for your advertising spend. So we're happy to send that out to you. I love to stop here and ask this simple question because it's helpful to learn new things, but success really comes when you implement. So at this stage, if you could write 3 things down that you got from this training, that if you applied it, you would get a better result in some area. So if you could write those things down and try to take action on those, like the faster the better. If you need to block out some time on your calendar to make that happen, I'd say do it and try to be an implementer, and you're going to get more success. If you would like more patience, we would be happy to help. I would love to speak with you. What we do here is we start with a discovery call, and if it makes sense for our team to do a deep dive into your online presence and your opportunities, what you're doing well, what can be improved, we'd be happy to do that. And we call that second call a recommendations call. It's absolutely free. So please reach out to us if we could be of help. Certainly hope that you got some good tips on how to manage a Google Ads account here. And if we could be of help, here's how to reach out to us, oralsearchandmarketingpros.com, or you can call us or scan the QR code and set an appointment. All right. Thanks so much for joining. We're here to help. Make it a great day.